Hi and welcome to Asian Future, our channel, whereby we touch base on with ancestors on an ancestral level, and we relate it to what's happening right now, to all the current events that are going on around the world, and in order to be able to use it and in our day-to-day um, life, and to have a communication whereby we know that our ancestors are present, and they're present amongst us, and they're present within us. And so first and foremost, I want to give thanks and praise, thanks and praise, thanks and praise, thanks and praise to the Most High, to the Creator, to the Divine, to that infinite intelligence, to the universe, to that which is responsible for this entire creation or universe, or existence we find ourselves in. So give thanks and praise, much love, much thanks, much praise. And also I want to give out a much thank you and gratitude to all you immortals. Yes, sir. All you immortals who tuned in on Tube, the video, which was Back to Life. So this is Back to Life Part 2. The other one was Back to Life Part 1. Who tuned in, all of you immortals who were there. Some of you immortal queens are just, whoa. Some of you are just, I mean, there you go, man. Ariam, Nasali, Sabra, Mavis, Linda, um, Rachel, the infinite, and some of you who are there, the warriors, man. Some of you warriors who are there, Baker, Maddie, Gregory, Ravogo, Adrian, so many of you, I mean, many of you are in the diaspora. You're in the diaspora. Many of you are right over in Australasia. Some of you are in Europe. Some of you are on the motherland. Much love. And some of you, yes, brothers and sisters, some of you are in the US of A. So much love and much respect. And thank you very much. Just remember to hit the notification button so that whenever we drop this ancestral energy, so that when it detonates, yeah, when it detonates, you'll be there to download it into you. So we give thanks and praise, and right now we're going back, and everything, when we're holding it into perspective and finding out exactly when we talk about death, and the idea of death as it relates within the ancestral realm. And we, in this matrix of the Greco-Roman matrix, whereby everything is death is considered as something which is finite, and yes, with due respect to on a certain level, it's finite, but that level is only and only limited to the physical, and it's only and only limited to our egos, to our own egos. When we look at it from the ancestral point of view, as we are, is that death is just a moment in time. It's just that switch where you go from time to timeless. Death is that marker, you know, of of um, of uh, of timelessness, the door that opens to timelessness, and a lot of energy has been put on it, and some of that energy is like um, the energy of fear. And so once that energy of fear has been associated with death, yeah, it has limited many of us to access the ancestral realm, because we are looking at it from a point of view of this matrix is one and everything and is the all. And that is why when we go back, and as we were saying before, a lot of this information, which is the ancestral information, which is downloaded to us, which comes down the line through sometimes they're called griots, sometimes they're just the 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 wealth keepers of the village or of the community, and those wealth keepers are usually the wealth keepers that keep the knowledge keepers, which is passed on, and it's passed on down the line, and it's passed on based on word of mouth. And because you got to remember, a lot of information which we are having right now, a lot of information, a lot of information is, it has been spiked, it has been spiked with a lot of untruth. It's been spiked with a lot of disinformation. So what has happened is that when the information is passed down by the grace, you gotta be righteous. You gotta be in harmony. You gotta be in sync with the universe in order for you to be able to pass on this knowledge, and in order to be one who's a vessel for it. So when this information is downloaded into the person and you pass it down on the ancestral level, death ceases to be um, finite. It ceases to be finite, and that stigma attached to it, because you know very well that you are going back to the ancestral realm. One of the things which we have within, like the Eastern traditions, the Oriental traditions, those who come from what we would call the Buddha or the Sanskrit traditions, yeah, is that someone, okay, will be reincarnated and comes back, which is true. But the level of science which had been here on the motherland had even taken it further, because we knew when and where you'd be reincarnated. Just like as you have the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama is the one who's closest to what is within the African tradition, or the tradition, which is the Asian tradition, is that we knew even in what family line you'd be able to come back. That is why a lot of children are pointed out, and they say their father, or I mean their grandfather, so and so, has come through this child on this level. So we give thanks and praise for that. We give thanks and praise that death is not finite, but death also marks a lot of things. Number one, we all know and we all see what happened right now to, like, as we're talking about the protests that are going on. And those protests were triggered. They were triggered by the death, the death of Brother George Floyd. And whereas it's a sad moment, it's still not a moment to get angry. Because one of the ways which blocks our ability to download or to be in alignment with the ancestral um, download is that emotion of anger. So yes, it is sad, but also we got to look at it and know, because remember this brother man, The brother called on his mother, and his mother was already dead. You listen to that. If those are not ancestors, because he looked, he knew he was joining the ancestors. So that's why he called on Mama. He called on Mama. And whereas it is within this whole thing something to look up and say, wow, this is a sad moment, but also it's a teaching moment for all of us to know that we do not have to wait until the last minute in order to be able to perceive what's on the other side. The other side is with us right now at this moment in time. And the earlier we recalibrate ourselves and be aligned and knowing that us and our ancestors, we are one and the same, and we are all doing the work of the Creator, but on different levels. On different levels. We stand here and maybe, like for instance, we can look up and say and call on Yeshua ben Yosef, or Ben Yosef, Yeshua, who the Greco-Roman tradition decided to say he's Jesus or Jesus. And of course, we know the sense of language and what that means and what it gets. But that's a story for another day. But right now, we're in this promised land. So yes, yesterday is yesterday. Um, Yeshua is an ancestor. Absolutely, totally, completely, Yeshua is an ancestor, and that is why those who were ruling the previous paradigm, those who term themselves as the um, uh, who perceived themselves as the rulers of the world, or of this matrix, or in other words, who would call the manipulators of perception of this whole matrix. Um, that is why every now and then they decided to think and say that they are of that bloodline, but knowing very well by attaching themselves on that is a sign that you want to receive legitimacy. But Yeshua is an ancestor. Jesus is an ancestor. And as an ancestor, that's why we are able to call on. But we call on him, you say, but the best way to call on him is just like me. I'll prefer you to call my name, which was given to me by which came down the line, than to call me a name with someone's interpretation of who I am, you know, because he was Yeshua, but that's an ancestor, you know. If you look at what happened to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he came up and he had received revelation from the angel Gabriel or Gabriel. Okay, when he received that download, okay, guess what? The one person who it resonated with, that was Bilal. And now Bilal said something very important. He said, he did not say you're bringing anything new, because the Quraysh who were from the Prophet's family, peace be upon him, were against what he was telling them. But Bilal, who was a black man, told him, you're bringing back our ancestral faith. You imagine that? So the ancestors doth live amongst us. And this dispensation which we're in right now, which has been triggered, this awakening, this realization, which is happening right now, post-COVID, any one of us who wishes to be able to 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 um, to to benefit must realign back to your ancestral DNA. And let that DNA be physical, let it be psychic, let it be spiritual. But we gotta realign ourselves back. And one of the reasons why the previous matrix things were not working out is because it was discordant with who our DNA was, our ancestral DNA. So, brothers and sisters, um, more conversations to continue, and we give thanks and praise to the Almighty, and hit the notification button. And we intend to keep on dropping all this knowledge, dropping all this awareness, because it's not even us who are dropping it. We're just only a vessel where it downloads through us and it's given to you. So we don't own it. And peace and love, just peace and love, and let everything work out the way our ancestors designed it. Much love, much love, much love.